Hey everybody, welcome back to When Harry Met Board Games, where we feed our people with relatable content and our victory condition is your satisfaction. I'm Harry, and today we have another edition of my board game collection, Shelf by Shelf. Today I'll be covering what I've deemed as shelf number 3 in my collection. So let's get right to it. And this right here is shelf number 3. And there's not much in here. We've got these 3 Ticket to Ride boxes. Ticket to Ride Europe, Ticket to Ride Nordic countries, and Ticket to Ride the base game. I actually have all of my opened, because I do have unopened Ticket to Ride content. All of my open Ticket to Ride content is contained within these 3 boxes. I've gotten rid of some of the map expansion boxes and just consolidated everything in here. Ticket to Ride is the, classic gateway game, former Spiel des Jahres winner by Alan Moon. You're building routes, you're collecting sets of colored cards and playing them in order to build routes of different lengths, and each player has a certain amount of destination tickets or objectives, goals that they're trying to accomplish before the end of the game, connecting certain cities to one another through a series of routes. It's a fun game, simple game, has tons of maps. It's great if you love geography, if you love maps, if you love to travel. This is probably a game that you would be interested in playing. And speaking of, as I mentioned earlier, the consolidation and the storage modifications that I've made for this game, I might be posting a video sometime soon where I show my storage solutions for my Ticket to Ride series of games. And underneath Ticket to Ride, also from the same publisher, Days of Wonder, we have Shadows over Camelot. Shadows over Camelot is a cooperative game with a King Arthur theme. Players take on the role of perhaps King Arthur himself and some of the knights of his round table, going around Camelot and taking care of different quests. Mechanically speaking, basically, you are playing something like poker, similar to poker. You're playing different sets of cards. Sometimes you're trying to play straights from 1 through 5. Sometimes you're trying to play a couple of pairs that are highly valuable, or maybe even a full house. And you're going on all these different quests, and there's a lot of, reference to, Arthurian lore. There's the Excalibur sword, of course, and the Holy Grail. Lancelot and his armor. These are all relics that you're trying to acquire to also give you special abilities and bonuses. But basically, every time you go on a quest and you successfully complete the quest, you get to place a certain amount of white swords on the round table. And every time you fail a quest, you have to place a certain amount of black swords on the round table. And your objective as a team, this is a cooperative game again, is to have the majority of the 12 slots in the round table filled by white swords. So you want to have at least 7 of those slots filled by white swords. If you ever have 7 or more black swords at any point in the game, then you and your team have lost the game, and that's terrible. Now, what's interesting about this game is that it does have, according to the rules, the possibility of a traitor. Some people play that there's mandatory that it must be a traitor. We play where there is the possibility of there being a traitor. I think only one time that we've played this game, there actually wasn't a traitor, and it was crazy because there was so much intrigue, so much suspicion, so much, finger pointing going on, and then we actually won the game, and we found out when we revealed our loyalty cards that no player was the traitor, and that was very funny and exciting. As a matter of fact, I think it was the only time we've won the game, and it was the only time that there was no traitor. Whenever there's a traitor, we tend to lose the game. The game is very, very, very tough. But again, it feels fun. There's a lot to do. It's definitely one of those more the merrier type of games. It accommodates up to 7 players, and the higher player counts are to the players' advantages because the more players you have, the more evenly or the more you could distribute the different quests among each other, because there's a lot going on. There's a lot of different quests that simultaneously are taking place, and wherever you cannot, take care of, you are going to incur those black swords when those quests fail. So with more players, you increase your likelihood of succeeding in more of these quests. This game is really cool. It has drop-in, drop-out ability. Even though there's a lot going on, it's pretty simple. I'd say it's a gateway game. And again, it's a cooperative game, so you could always teach people as they play. Production quality is gorgeous, stellar, amazing, as Days of Wonder is known to do. So yeah, Shadows over Camelot, one of my favorite games of all time, and possibly my favorite cooperative game of all time. And that is it for shelf number 3. This is fun, sharing my love of my board game collection here. I know that this one was a short one, a simple one. Pretty much in essence, there was just 2 games, 4 boxes and 2 games. But hey, it was fun for me to talk about them. These are 2 games that have been good to me and that I've enjoyed over the years. And yeah, well, thank you so much for joining us here When Harry Met Board Games. Continue to follow for the rest of this series, my game collection shelf by shelf. And comment down below what you think about these games. Do you happen to own them? Have you played them? All right, everybody, take care, stay safe, and have fun gaming. Bye-bye.